Bane.
Like you just said, leads the league in block shots. He's terrific. Bane makes a move. Harris tries to defend.
Something so subtle. Something so subtle. Just his pace. His pace is just so good. A little further back than I want to sometimes. But literally just gives the most basic ball fake you could think of. The most basic ball fake in the book. And he brings that, literally just shows it to PJ Tucker like he's going to throw the bounce pass. And then boom, that entire lane just opens up. Hey, now James Harden, robbed of an all-star game, bro. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, robbed of an all-star game, dog. Like, 21 and 11 isn't enough. 21 and 11 isn't enough to make an all-star game. And another little thing about James Harden, too. One of his go-tos, we know the step back. But I'm going to show you another example a little later of how when James gets into his size-ups, or any player could get into their size-ups, you can kind of recognize if they're going to be a threat in both ways or if they're not going to be a threat in both ways. Meaning, judging by their base. Are they tall or are they low? I'm going to show you a little later. It's a little later on in the game, but people.
And then they had the All-Star break, and here
Peep Dylan Brooks, man.
Triple. Nice
Knocked it down.
Creating in his own mind, in his own head.
And mind you, we know Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is slowly becoming one of the corniest players in the NBA. It took him about 3.5 minutes to get into a scuffle with James Harden already. It took him about 3.5 minutes, bro.
Jackson, a first-time All-Star.
A lot of people play such great defense and then give it up at the end. All because of their hands. All because of their hands. They'll play such great defense, but then literally they give up. They let the play go at the last second because of their hands. PJ Tucker is in all the right spots. Stays in front, gets the bump, chest straight up, hands shown. And then he lets his hands down. Players do that way too much. They let their hands down every single time.
But he just made a blind
every single time, bro. Pete Melton.
Defense by the Grizzlies center. Clark's on the bench with two. Wide open. Brooks triple.
I see. They didn't get burned on it, but everybody got out of sorts. Even then, when you go back, you should see Tobias gets the ball. You should see Embiid's got down low. He's got the rim. So now you just go back and you go match up. You go match up with who's around you. And so after you get that, you should be straight. But he doesn't make those reads on it, because as soon as you see the rim protected, the ball protected, and then you see, then after that it's straight, boom, just take anybody that's nearby you. If it's a mismatch, it's a mismatch. So be it. Just keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. And by the way, make sure you subscribe, like, and turn on notifications, because we're dropping breakdowns daily. And all these breakdowns are live on Twitch at Pat DOR. So go hit that link in the description, go follow, and go hit that other link and join the Discord. And let's get right back to it. A key thing about bigs. I feel like they don't get their bag. They need to expand their bag a little more. Like, because a regular coach will tell you, oh, bigs, you just need to work on your legs, get strong, bully people, get your post up, get your hook shots, get all those little things. But literally the next level of shot is often skipped, which is having a floater. People think nowadays, since it's a 3-point game, since it's a shooting game, oh, I got my touch around the rim, let me go straight back to the 3-point line. But it doesn't work like that. You need to get your in between before you get outside, go even further. In cases like this, the person that's guarding you dropped so far back, but do you really want to attack downhill and take on that contact? Or you could just stop right short in front of them and get a floater. Or even in situations where you need a short roll and pick and rolls. In the short roll situation, it's like the same thing. Do you want to take on that big? Do you want to take on that contact? Or would you just make the game easier for yourself and get a floater? And peep Embiid on this one right here. The lane was so open, it's like, how did that even happen? But the key about this play right here is notice how once Embiid makes this catch, what he sees and what Tillman thinks. Tillman thinks that Tyus Jones right here is still in the help. But what Daniels does, he comes up here baseline, then he goes up middle, and by going up middle, it moves Jones from that baseline. So now it's just Tillman by himself, but Tillman doesn't see what's going on behind him. So if you're on that weak side, you got to at least communicate so he can shift positions. And on top of that, it's not only does he think he has the help, he's still showing his hands so that he can't be able to throw that pass into the middle. So as soon as Tyus Jones leaves, Embiid goes and attacks the rim, gets the two. Peep Embiid. Bro. People hate the fact that Embiid gets so many fouls, but most of the time it's not even him just intentionally looking for a foul. It's just the defense ends up fouling him. He just ends up getting fouled because he baits you into thinking it. He's not just hitting you knowing intentionally he's gonna foul you. You just reach for the ball and you miss for it. Now on these spin moves, a lot of players make the spin and keep the ball cuffed, keep the ball around their midline. Embiid, every time he does this spin, he low rips through. He does a low rip through. And so literally this low rip through, it just baits you even more because people usually do it. They do a dribble drive, low rip through below their knees, but Embiid does it on a spin. So you think on the spin the ball's gonna be up here, but really it's down low, lower than you think. So you just hit his arm and he goes straight to the free throw line. And peep this, Embiid shooting free throws and his hands on his knees, bro. The fact that the Grizzlies sold this game was low-key ridiculous. The fact they sold this game once again is that Ja Morant curse. I'm telling you.
When you're coming off the bench.
Peep Niang.
On this team, I feel like I know I'm gonna start with
Hey, he missed the first angle on this, but the thing is, when you as a player, you gotta keep playing. You just gotta keep going.
When you're coming off the bench.
For Niang. Boom. Usually you'll see this hard hedge and this pass right here, throw it over the top. Maxey ain't throw this one, but the thing is, Niang ain't give up on it. He kept going. He ain't give up on the play, so he kept moving, kept making himself available. So even though you don't get hit on that first look, you can still get hit from another angle. You still get that ball from another angle. But if you just stop and think, oh, he missed me, and just kind of soak and just stop, you ain't gonna get nothing. Hey, Harden had a great game last night. And this once again just showed me that Harden has no right. And Harden has a full right. And they ain't nothing like, oh, he's coming over on help. Oh, he's about to get the block. Jaren Jackson comes up from this middle. He comes up from the middle, and you can tell by his approach. And like, it's no knock on Harden. He do what he do. If he ain't got no right, he just don't got no right. It's what it is. Ain't gonna knock his game for it. It's just him. And he's been able to work around these. Average what, 37 points, 6 points in the season.
Under a minute to go, shot clock at 5. Morant 0-3.
Hey, I'm telling you, they getting him. They finding him, bro. People be like, oh, that's not a carry. But that is a carry. That's a carry. Straight up, it's just a carry is what it is. We're gonna see a little better.
Yep, right there.
Hey, if we're going by Naismith, if we're going by the rules of Naismith, that's a carry. That is indeed a carry. I thought about something with, not even just with Ja, but in general, is that when you're trying to recover off these screens and you're trying to get back in front after you chased over, you want to make the distance you have to cover as little as possible. So say you're coming in this situation, the player doesn't rub off the screen tight, or there's some space to get in through on that inside. Try to get through on that inside because it's less space than trying to go all the way around. And by going all the way around, you assure yourself to being susceptible to getting put in jail, getting put on their backside. Because they're used to feeling someone go around there, boom, they put you in jail. But say you come around on this inside right here, instead of trying to loop around, not only will you be able to possibly recover even quicker, is now that when you do recover to a player like Ja, who likes to get into that little between mid-range and layup area and get to his floaters, that now you can stop him from getting to that right hand because he doesn't float with his left, he floats with his right. And could he still get up and get a floater because he jumps so high? Yeah. But still, if you're right there on that right side, it makes him a little more uncomfortable than it was before. I'm not saying it's going to be able to stop him, but it can make him feel uncomfortable and tempt him away from maybe trying to get out into space or trying to make a play, trying to make a pass or something, instead of going up for that floater. I didn't even know Aldama could do that, bro. I didn't even know he could do that. He damn near 360 dunked that jump. That takes a lot of coordination. A lot of coordination. I don't even know why he 360. He could have maybe even gone straight up and got it. But hey, if you do you, do you. But the thing about this too, PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker. He's super high up on help. Super high up on help. Now it still goes back to that same concept where you got to see two at the same time, where you got to see both, right? And so PJ Tucker steps up even higher to kind of close off this lane, but he steps up so high that now he can't see both at one spot. He can't see two by looking at one spot. And so now he's literally, he's done. He's cooked. He's just done. Like he can't, there's no way he's going to be able to get to Aldama because he just cannot see. So the same thing always happens where players can't see two at the same time. But people say, oh, we already know this and that. But obviously it hasn't gotten across to enough people. Or instead of trying to loop around and get to Ja from that left side, coming from his right wing, is that instead you just try to stay on his inside. So you force him left, and he has nothing really to go to. He can still get to that floater because he jumps so high. But it's just sit on the inside hip. Sit on the inside hip. Because it now discourages him from being able to get right and then get to his left-right approach and to that right-hand floater. If you got any questions about something, let me know. Drop it in the chat. I was talking about it a little bit. Harden's tween. Harden's tween, where you can kind of read what he's going to try to get into by judging by his base. But another thing I was starting to uncover is being able to judge somebody going into their attacks by how they move that front foot. As you get into it, you're going to see them take this foot and already be down low, usually one, and then two, you're going to see them replace it and like literally take it from here and drop it back a little bit so they could attack. They're going to like do a backwards foot replacement, but the same foot staying there. But usually if they're going to try to make you crossover or make a tween on you, they're going to try to do, they're going to see that foot step out. And so you're going to see that foot step out just so they can change direction and get somewhere else. If you're going to accelerate and sprint out of a position, they're going to drop that foot back if you're efficient with your movement. But if they take that step forward with that front foot, it's a little longer. And so now you have more time to recover if they do go straight line to the rim. Now, even then, it's still hard to do off the fact that the game is so fast. I'm not trying to take away credit for the speed of the game because I know it's hard to catch in time. But if you realize that when you watch film and you learn these new little things, you're going to be able to catch on quicker when you see things in game. And so now when you see it, it's going to be a habit for you when you start playing in the game. Now, the thing with James is that I said this before, but like you know that when you watch Kobe, when you watch Jordan, the great mid-range players, they see shoulders turn. They see somebody trying to recover on defense, and then they get into their dribble pull-up. Harden sees this, but instead he just bumps you because now the ref has to call a foul because you're out of legal guarding position. They have to call a foul. They're gonna bump you, boom. And as much as you want to flop, as much as you want to throw your body back, they're still gonna call a foul, regardless at the end of the day. They're gonna call a foul. And so Harden, like, it's literally just different ways you could counter. You can see the same look and still make the best out of it, get to what you want to do. And Harden's been doing it for years, and they're probably never gonna change that rule because literally you're out of legal guarding position. Ain't nothing you could do. You always hear coaches say, "Don't go away from contact, don't go away from contact," and all this. But that's really why you don't go away from contact, because you attack. The second you take yourself away from contact, the second you take yourself away from the contact, you're losing out on the ability to maybe even draw a foul to get that foul.
But isn't it interesting? Here's a two-man team with Philadelphia and some very good parts. They go up high.
Hey, that's on his head. That was on his head. But look how Philly reacted, though. Look how Philly reacted. Now, what I don't like to see, what I don't like the players to do is literally you see a highlight play like this and you kind of just soak in it and you just kind of sit there and just like, damn, that just happened. You just kind of slow down. It's just like, damn, I just got dunked on. You're thinking about it and you kind of think about your teammates, even if you're not the player who got put on the poster, got put on the highlight. You're kind of slowed down a little bit. But like, look at James. He's like, come on, like they're celebrating. While they celebrate, you should be able to take that ball and go down. Take that ball and go down, because now they're slow to get back. And even when they're not in these situations, when it's just a regular miss, you get the ball and then you take it out, it's still like a transition situation, because if your offense is moving at the same speed, it's just the defense doesn't get a chance to get set. They don't get a chance to find who has to get who and whatnot. And then literally also this too, Maxey is a commodity for Harden, bro, because now that Harden doesn't have his athleticism, now that Harden doesn't have as much athleticism, he can't push that pace and literally just be full sprint and pushing the pace the whole game. He literally just gets the ball on an outlet and it just pitches up to Maxey, and then Maxey just does the work from there. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. I don't know if it's going to happen. But Pete James. Pete James, man. It's a back screen. But our screening is be getting so overcomplicated. Like, People be trying to do the most on the screen. Screening be so overcomplicated sometimes. Players always step out and try to stick out a shoulder or stick out a hip, and then they get called for offensive foul. But it's really a lot simpler than you think. Like Harden, is his hands on him? Yeah, but he doesn't do much. He doesn't do much with that. There's not much to do with that. Just so simple. Like he just stands in the way he has to go. And now you're gonna see John make an adjustment on this in terms of how to guard this and not chase over the top, because there's really no point unless he's gonna flare out to the corner, flare out to the wing. But that's not what the set is for.
Moran is on him. Moran's got 15.
Boom, same set. You just peeped that, right? Same set they just ran last time. Coming out of timeout. Now they're just getting layers to that same set. But it's not. Now is not the moment. But peep this too. Same set. Now they just get into their two-man game. Super simple. You just hoop. You just hoop. If you miss your options, if you literally ran through a set and you got nothing else left, just hoop. Call for a screen. Go for a handoff. Just go down screen if you're off the ball. To some like cut something. Just hoop. Just hoop. Feet into their three-point line. Hey, and I tell you this, bro. MB done saved PJ Tucker life right there. MB saved PJ Tucker right here. Because look, Ja would have boomed that. Ja would have boomed that. If MB did not get this, Ja would have dunked on him. It would have been on House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, and all this stuff. Like, bro. But MB got to him a little early. Boom, right here. This is the angle. He would have dunked that, bro. He would have dunked that if MB was not there, bro. It would have went viral. Would have went viral, bro. Then boom, great hustle by PJ. Great hustle by PJ. This got really ugly. And the fact the Sixers really stole this game at the last second. Because this is the first time they got the lead in super long. And then Harris hits the bucket. Harris hits the bucket, right? They coming back down. Harris gets the stop. Harden makes a hustle play. MB goes for the two. Great series of plays right there. Great series of plays. And this shot by Tobias too. A lot of people be super scared to take this shot. On top of the fact that you ain't take that many looks throughout the course of the game. But Harris, that's just called trusting yourself. That's just trusting yourself right there, bro. And then going to pick up Ja on the next play down where it's like a game. The game's on the line right now. Then picking up Ja and stepping up to make this stop. And he gets the stop. And then Harden makes a hustle play. You love to see it. Love to see it. And that's the end of this video. If you want to catch all these breakdowns live, got some questions for me, or you want me to watch your film, go hit that link in the description and go follow, because we live streaming now. And also hit that other link and join the Discord. And we out of here.